My name is Michael Rooney, and I'm a recent graduate at the University of Illinois Chicago College of Medicine and future radiation oncology resident at MD Anderson. Today I'll be discussing a study investigating linguistic biases in the letters of recommendation for radiation oncology residency. So I'll begin with a little bit of background as to why our team approached this problem to begin with. There's a growing body of literature showing that there are significant gender and racial disparities among medical professionals, and radiation oncology, unfortunately, is no exception. These patterns are certainly complex and could arise due to any number of specialty-specific or general societal factors. However, one important theory to explain why such disparities exist, and has been particularly applied in the context of women in medicine, is a theory of the broken pipeline. And in short, this says that throughout career advancement, women have fewer opportunities to excel, and they are therefore lost at different areas throughout their advancement in what's termed the leaky pipeline. And one early component of that pipeline is residency training, and therefore any inequity in residency application and evaluation might translate into widespread disparity within the specialty. Because of this, our team was interested in evaluating whether there are indeed biases in the letters of recommendation for residency applicants, specifically in the field of radiation oncology. So here's a brief overview of our methods. We analyzed all letters of recommendation for applicants invited to interview at a single large institution over 4 recent applicant cycles. For every letter, we used verified linguistic analysis software, which is called LIWC software, to analyze the content of letters. And we used those domains specifically that are listed below, such as grindstone, standout, desirability, etc. Further, we also used a publicly available online calculator, which estimates the gender bias within a sample text. And based on those scores, we then compared our results according to certain applicant and letter writer characteristics to discern whether or not biases might exist in this population. Overall, we identified 487 letters of recommendation from 125 applicants. On this slide, we have 2 what are called spider grids, which illustrate the differences in letter content according to applicant gender and status as a self-identified underrepresented group in medicine. For those unfamiliar with spider plots, these can be interpreted by evaluating the distance radially for each given axis or domain on the plot. For example, if we look at that left plot, that shows the LIWC score domains stratified by applicant gender, so male and female applicants. Females are in pink and males are in blue. As we can see, both groups have very similar scores due to the high overlap between these groups, or between these grids shaped on the grid. But if, by contrast, if we look over on the right, this is showing a plot that has domain scores for applicants who identify as underrepresented in medicine, or URM, and then also non-URM applicants. And here we see a striking difference in the use of standout characteristics, with URM applicants in red much less likely to have this type of content in their letters. By contrast, their letters were also more likely to include statements about patient care and the applicant's communal or friendly personality. We similarly evaluated the impact that letter writer characteristics themselves had on the content of letters, focusing primarily on the gender, field, and academic rank of the letter writers, and we again found large differences, with female writers more likely to include statements about patient care and agentic personality. Letters from radiation oncologists, as compared to other specialties, were less likely to include standout statements, but more likely to include statements about applicant desirability and research. Overall, these results indicate that significant biases likely do exist in our letters of recommendation. Encouragingly, there weren't differences based on applicant gender, but URM status did correlate with significant differences. And additionally, characteristics of the letter writers themselves seem to significantly correlate with the content of the letters, arguably even to a greater extent than did the applicant characteristics. And ultimately, recognition of these biases are essential to fairly evaluate diverse applicant pools and ensure equity in the pipeline of future radiation oncology professionals. Thank you.